People-centric initiatives to own homes, rural health clinics to be supplied with COVID-19 self-test kits, and Mile 6 flyover partially opens. Those are the headlines for tonight. I'm Hari Zendin, and this is TVS Nightline. The Sarawak State Government is rolling out various initiatives to help people to own homes, namely the Housing Deposit Assistance Scheme (HDAS), which provides deposit assistance of 10% or a maximum of 10,000 ringgit for affordable housing purchase deposits to first home buyers in the B40 and M40 groups. Now, Deputy Minister of Public Health, Housing and Local Government Michael TIANG said this is to help Sarakians to become homeowners.
As on our part, we are come out with certain programs in the future to be announced, so that hopefully we can help the people, especially M40, B40, young people who just step into society. When they face the housing, to buy a house, pressure, all this burden, we try to help them. We'll come out with something.
He said the skyrocketing property prices were due to several factors, including inflation, rising building material costs, supply issues, and increased labor costs. Nonetheless, TIANG said the government is committed to helping the people to own their homes.
But what we can do is to continue to communicate with professional body like association like SHIDA to want to work out certain programs. We're also looking into some of the programs to help people in purchasing house, which is still in, I would say, in, how do I call it, evaluation stage. We're still evaluating certain programs yet to be announced soon, which we hope that we can counter the property price hike.
On June 14, the National Property Information Centre reported that property prices in Sarawak are the third most expensive in Malaysia, behind Selangor and Kuala Lumpur, with an average price of 482,592 ringgit in the first quarter of 2021.
In another development, the state government is studying the feasibility of supplying COVID-19 self-test kits to government clinics in remote areas. Michael TIANG said this is to ensure that rural communities have access and a sufficient supply of the self-test kits.
I'll look into this issue and make sure that the rural, our fellow Sarakians can have equal access to a test kit. And so they will not be discriminated by a higher cost. We'll see what we can do.
He was met after launching the Medical Devices Regulatory Endemic Phase Roadshow at the Sarawak Heart Centre on Friday. TIANG also advised the public to ensure that the COVID-19 test kits they purchased are certified by the Medical Device Authority, MDA, to ensure their safety.
Which is very, very important. Not try to get something cheaper but not certified by this. It's not to their benefit, to their safety. As we understand today, the seminar emphasized a lot of medical devices only certified by MDA are safe.
The long-awaited 6-mile flyover has been partially opened to the public today. The flyover is expected to alleviate the traffic congestion situation in the area.
Sarawak Works Department JKR said the flyover is partially open to motorists from 5 p.m. and advised road users to follow the directional signage installed as the diversion routes up to the flyover. Meanwhile, Palawan Municipal Council MPP Chairman Loh Kerchiang thanked the public for their patience.
I would like to thank our viewers, my friends on Facebook Live, for being patient all this while. Even though there was traffic jam, you have all been patient. We have now finally reached the stage where all the 4 flyovers are passable by traffic.
On Tuesday, Chiang said a single lane of the 6-mile flyover would be open to motorists today, while the dual lanes for 7-mile flyover would be open to road users on July 25th. Earlier, JKR Pen Borneo Highway Unit said the opening of the 6-mile and 7-mile flyovers have been delayed due to a shortage of bitumen supply since June.
The Ma'al Hijrah Festival celebration in 2022 will take place from 29 to 31st July at Masjid Jame in Kuching. According to the Chief Executive Officer of the Sarawak State Mosque Welfare Trust Board, Dato Abang Abdul Wahab Abang Julai, the organisation of this festival aims to enhance the New Year celebration of the Ma'al Hijrah.
Festival Ma'al Hijrah ini merupakan satu program yang dulu kali kita anjurkan, dan matlamat utamanya adalah kita ingin untuk menyemarakkan sambutan tahun baru Hijrah ini. Sebagai sebuah badan amanah Islam, menjadi tanggungjawab kita untuk memastikan kesejahteraan umat terjaga dari berbagai aspek, bukan sahaja dari segi pelaksanaan ibadah, ia juga melangkaui aspek pendidikan, sosial, ekonomi, kesihatan, dan juga aspek-aspek lain yang menjurus kepada kesejahteraan umat.
In this regard, various programs will be implemented during the festival.
Pertama, Malam Cinta Rasul yang akan menampilkan Al-Fadhil Ustaz Ahmad Nizam Ghazali. Kita juga akan mengadakan pameran kerjaya dan pendidikan. Di samping itu akan diadakan kembara berbasikal, persembahan khas kumpulan nasyid terkenal iaitu Intim, dan ada beberapa lain-lain lagi.
In addition, the board has also introduced an official portal, fmh2022.com, for the public to access more information about the festival. Registration can also be made through the portal.
Now, civil servants are advised to implement and practice the values of integrity, especially in sectors that provide infrastructure for the benefit of the people. Now, according to the Deputy Minister in the Premier's Department for Integrity and Ombudsman, Dato Dr. JUANDA JAYA, the government will continue to focus on transparency in its duties, which were entrusted by the people.
Untuk mewujudkan kerajaan yang berintegriti bukan usaha yang mudah. Ya, kita perlu melahirkan kerajaan yang ada tadbir urus yang baik, telus, ada accountability, dan yang paling penting sekali mewujudkan suasana anti rasuah. Anti salah guna kuasa. Ya.
JUANDA said various initiatives have been implemented to ensure government agencies carry out their responsibilities with integrity, including holding integrity tourism programs.
Dan pihak kami sekarang buat satu perkara yang baru, iaitu jelajah integriti. Bila saya masuk ke dalam pejabat, ya, saya dapati mun kita tok ngatur dalam ofis saja sik ke seni kita. Rakyat merhati kita. Walaupun bukan semua perkara akan selesai, ya, tetapi yang ingin kita sebut ialah usaha seperti ini memberi keyakinan kepada rakyat bahawa komplain kita orang akan dilayan.
JUANDA said this when interviewed during TVS Sejahtera Asia on Friday.
The Malaysian cabinet has agreed to set up a special task force to study, monitor and formulate an appropriate action plan based on the provision of the law in addressing the issue of claims by the so-called heirs of the last Sultan of Sulu, Sultan Jamalul Kiram II, on Malaysia.
Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Parliament and Law, Dato Sri Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar, said the government viewed the issue seriously as it could jeopardize Malaysia's interests and assets abroad, especially assets under government-linked companies. The task force comprised Foreign Minister Dato Sri Saifuddin Abdullah, Attorney General Tan Sri Idris Harun, and experts in international arbitration. while the Legal Affairs Division and the Foreign Ministry will act as the secretariat for the task force. It was reported that the assets of two Petronas subsidiaries in Azerbaijan were seized on July 11 by bailiffs for the heirs of the now-defunct SULU Sultanate, who were claiming 62.59 billion ringgit from Malaysia. The move was said to be part of legal efforts launched in 2017 by the heirs to receive compensation over land in Sabah, which they claim their ancestors had leased to a British trading company in 1878. Last Tuesday, the Paris Court of Appeal allowed the Malaysian government's application to stay the enforcement of the final award issued by the arbitration court on the ground that it would affect the immunity of Malaysia's sovereignty. In his statement on Wednesday, Wan Junaidi said as a result of the suspension order given by the Paris Court of Appeal, the final award cannot be enforced in any country until a final decision is made by the Paris Court regarding the Malaysia government's application for cancellation of the final award.
Coming up right after the break, stamp duty exemption for first-time home buyers, MOH to distribute medical stockpile. Right here on TVS Nightline, stay tuned.
Luangkan malam
Welcome back. Now, first-time homeowners are set to get stamp duty exemption under the Keluarga Malaysia Home Ownership Initiative, or iMiliki, from June 1st, 2022 to December 2023. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said properties priced 500,000 ringgit and below will receive 100% stamp duty exemption, while homes priced above 500,000 to 1 million ringgit will get a stamp duty exemption incentive of 50%.
The Prime Minister said the government is carrying out various measures to enable Malaysians to own homes, such as providing stamp duty tax exemption for property ownership transfers and loan agreements. Adding that while it may impact Malaysia's revenue collection, he stressed that the move is the government's testament to helping all Malaysians. Earlier, Ismail Sabri was met at the launch event of the Home Ownership Program, or HOPE, and Carnival Jom Beli Rumah on Friday. The government is also targeting to build 500,000 affordable homes throughout the 12 Malaysia Plan.
Following a medical supply shortage in the market, The Health Ministry, MOH, will distribute its stockpile of medicines to private clinics and hospitals. Health Minister Khairy Jamaluddin said this was following the loaning of medicines, as announced on June 13, from MOH clinics and private hospitals to a private hospital as part of a temporary solutions.
Stok penimbal kerajaan ni diuruskan oleh Paman Niaga dan saya telah mengarahkan semalam supaya stok penimbal kita mana ada keperluan kita akan dahulukan untuk klinik-klinik swasta dan juga hospital swasta yang mengalami kekurangan ubat-ubatan yang saya sebutkan tadi.
Khairy attributed the cause of the shortage to the unexpectedly high demand for especially fever, cough and cold medication compared to before COVID-19. Meanwhile, commenting on the first monkeypox case reported by Saudi Arabia on an individual in Riyadh, Khairy said, so far, there has not been any report involving Malaysian pilgrims.
Setakat pengetahuan kita, tidak ada apa-apa kes cacar monyet di kalangan jemaah haji kita. Cuma kita ada terima maklumat daripada Singapura yang sudah ada tiga kes jangkitan tempatan di Singapura. Yang dua kes baru ini ada yang melibatkan tak ada history melawat Malaysia. Hanya yang pertama tu saja.
Now, the results on the placement of 2,611 special one-off grade 41 education service officers, or PPP, appointed via contract of service COS, can be viewed starting today. Senior Education Minister Dato Dr. Razzie Jidin said the placement also included eligible teachers who requested to change the placement of their postings.
On his official Facebook post, Razzie said with the new placement, the total cumulative number of teachers recruited and deployed to schools under the special one-off recruitment was 16,381. He added that the placement of these new teachers took into account the application for transfer of teachers who meet the conditions. The results of the placement can be checked via the ministry's website at egraduan.moe.gov.my. Razzie said newly appointed teachers will report to their respective schools this coming 25th July 2022. He also took the opportunity to wish the new teachers the best of luck in performing their duties. The ministry last month had announced that a special one-off intake of teachers involving 18,702 education service officers on grade DG41 would fill vacancies throughout the country.
Now on to some sports updates. National men's doubles shuttler Soh Woo-yik says it will be unfair to break up his partnership with Aaron Chia over their failure to win an Open Championship since being paired up in 2017. According to him, their achievements have been just as good as the other pairs, besides still being ranked as the country's #1 combination.
Answering to claims that the pair are not compatible, Woo-yik said it is not fair to judge them based on that, saying they have been consistent, which is proven by winning the bronze medal at the Tokyo Olympics 2020. He added that the bond he shares with Aaron is special and that it never crossed his mind to part from him, even though they have yet to win a title. The compatibility of the world #6 pair has been questioned by local sports fans after failing to capitalize on home ground advantage at the Malaysia Open 2022 and Malaysia Masters 2022, where they crashed out in the semi-finals of both tournaments. Aaron and Woo-yik lost 21-23 and 9-21 to world #2 Takuro Hoki and Yugo Kobayashi of Japan in the Malaysia Open 2022, and 14-21, 21-19, 10-21 to world #5 Fajar Alfian and Muhammad Rian Ardianto of Indonesia in the Malaysia Masters 2022.
Thank you for staying with us. Now on to some global updates. Sri Lanka's Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe was sworn in as the country's acting president on Friday, July 15.
A government official said Ranil had already taken on the role after former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa fled the country on Wednesday, July 13, following months of anti-government protests. Ranil will act as the interim president, and he is also the first choice of the ruling party to take over full-time, though no decision has been taken. The opposition's nominee is Sajid Premadasa, while the potential dark horse is senior lawmaker Dulas Alahar Peruma. Sri Lanka had begun preliminary discussions with the International Monetary Fund about a potential bailout loan, but these have been interrupted by the latest government chaos. Meanwhile, Sri Lankan residents in its capital, Colombo, welcomed President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's resignation on Friday, July 15, after he fled to Singapore to escape a popular uprising brought about by his country's worst economic crisis in 7 decades. Rajapaksa landed in Singapore on Thursday, July 14, having fled to the Maldives early on Wednesday, July 13, on a military jet along with his wife and 2 security guards. Protesters stormed his residence and office last Saturday, July 9. On Friday morning, hundreds of protesters remained camped outside of the presidential secretariat.
We are so happy. We are won the struggle. We got lots of struggle. We got police have given so many struggles, so many hardships. We won everything, and we are so happy today that he has resigned. And we feel that when the people come together, we can do everything. We are the real power in this country.
Despite news of Rajapaksa's resignation, dozens of rickshaws and vehicles could be seen snaking along city streets, near petrol stations, some having already queued days for a small quantity of petrol. Serpentine queues outside fuel pumps have become common, while the government has closed schools and enforced work from home for office workers to conserve fuel.
वो रास्ता बनाया अब हम लोग को रास्ता डाला हुआ अभी खाने खाया नहीं है सोता नहीं है इधर भी रहता है अभी बच्चे लोग पाए.
The country of 22 million has nearly run out of dollars for imports and defaulted on foreign loans.
Saudi Arabia will be opening its airspace to all air carriers, paving the way for more overflights to and from Israel, in a decision welcomed by U.S. President Joe Biden, who is due to visit the kingdom.
The Saudi General Authority of Civil Aviation said the country's airspace was now open to all carriers that meet its requirements for overflights, in line with international conventions that say there should be no discrimination between civil aircraft. The Saudi General Authority of Civil Aviation, in a statement, added that the decision will complement the efforts aimed at consolidating the kingdom's position as a global hub connecting 3 continents and to enhance international air connectivity. Bypassing Saudi Arabian airspace had added to flight times and increased fuel burn on some services to and from Israel. U.S. President Joe Biden welcomed the decision, White House National Security Advisor Jack Sullivan said. Earlier on Thursday, a U.S. official said that Saudi Arabia would soon grant Israeli airlines unfettered overflight access and permit direct charter flights from Israel for Muslims participating in the annual Hajj pilgrimage in Mecca. Saudi Arabia, Islam's birthplace, does not recognize Israel and has said nothing of possible bilateral developments during Biden's visit. Israel has also shielded from drawing such links. Despite the absence of official ties, Saudi Arabia had agreed in 2020 to allow Israel United Arab Emirates flights to cross its territory.
Now, don't forget to tune in to Sejahtera Asia tomorrow, where Cheryl Ng and Fiano Laka Anak Pakun will be sharing on the basic introduction of robotic systems and oil palm audit, and Deputy Chief Executive Officer of Sarawak State Mosque Welfare Trust Board, Muhammad Faisal Said, on the upcoming Ma'al Hijrah celebration with hosts Wan Alif and Juzak, 7:45 a.m. on TVS Astro Channel 122 and My Freeview. See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. Just a click away by heading on to our website at TVSTVMY or follow us on our social media platforms. That's all the time we have for TVS Nightline. I'm Hari Zainuddin, signing off.